Attention, bobsled riders! You will soon be embarking on a thrilling podcast down the icy slopes of the Matterhorn. So please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the bobsled at all times. Auf Wiedersehen!
Hello, yodelers! We are the Matterhorn Yodelers. I'm your host today, Bob Paycheck. Chapek!
Go away, Paycheck.
Yes, we're back again. Yes, my name's Peter. I'm with my co-host,
Jackie.
and
I'm last.
you're last.
Whoa.
Chief.
You're special.
Yes, I am.
And today we're gonna do a little bit of kind of a history / imaginative. We're gonna go be Imagineers today, and so we're gonna have fun. So today we're gonna be talking about at least 3 attractions that were designed for a Disney theme park but were never built. And then we'll have a fun twist where we're going to kind of make it work into a theme park today. So let's start things off with Yodeler Jackie here. What attraction did you pick? And tell us more about it.
So I chose the project. It was called Quest for the Unicorn.
What? That's from that movie, the Great Mouse Unicorn movie, right?
No.
No.
It
not
doesn't
at
come
all.
from a movie. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this idea was gonna go originally in Animal Kingdom Park in what was the land?
The
It's
fantasy...
The
The Beastly Kingdom.
Beastly Kingdom.
The one where everyone's all like, why is there a dragon?
Yeah, why is there a dragon on
Yeah.
the logo when there's no dragons at all? Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, this project never happened due to budget cuts.
What? This is
of
gonna be
animal-
this is gonna be a common theme of the day.
Budget cuts were pretty common when they realized the pricings of the ideas. They're like, no, we're not doing this. But this idea was really cool. So a lot of the information I got, it was from Maggie Parr. She was an artist on this project from 1993 to 1994. So, I mean, you work on a year on this project, and then it gets slashed. It's sad.
That's hard.
That's really hard.
That would be one of the hardest things about being an Imagineer. It's all like, yes, you're tasked to do work on this new attraction, and so you spend hours building models and art pieces and like designing where utility closets are gonna go, and
getting
then
you so excited for this project, and then it gets cut. But I think that's just kind of the reality of Imagineering.
I think it's part of the business, especially
Yeah.
if like you're in animation.
Right.
I heard when I went on a panel at D23, like where they talk. I think I've said this before, where they were talking about Brave, and Pixar was supposed to be set in snow. So they spent like 2.5 years doing snow. And
Right.
they came. They're like, no longer snow. We're gonna do grass. And they're like, you just see the guy throw his papers like, I can't do this anymore. But they say, but the lesson learned is that learning period helped make Frozen.
Right.
And so it may not be a complete wash. And so it kind of helped this may not go somewhere where I think it's going, but it could end up somewhere better.
And the thing is that's always kind of like the history of any attractions that were designed and were never built. They eventually find their way into circulation later on. Like one example that I know of is, Walt Disney wanted this horse riding attraction for Frontierland.
Oh, that's a horrible idea. After reading that law book,
Right. Well,
anything
the thing
with
is,
animals.
it was going to be a situation where you sit on a fake horse, and then you're kind of riding at a screen.
Oh, okay.
And eventually, that turned into Star Tours, turns into Soarin'.
Avatar.
So these Avatar. So these ideas don't ever really die. They just kind of manifest into something else later on.
Yeah, there's new life, new inspiration off of these. I'm sure Imagineers know all of these abandoned projects and have it in the back of their head for future ideas.
They don't throw anything away.
I'm still waiting for the anti-gravity room that was supposed to be at Mission Space.
Oh, yes.
I was like, whoa, this would have been an amazing
would've
ride.
been
You're like
so
floating.
cool.
It's like, whoa. And I was like, boy, Imagineers were reaching for that one.
Yes.
Lawyers go, no.
How are you going to do it? It doesn't matter. It's going to be amazing.
So, and it's funny because I looked at Maggie Parr's like LinkedIn, and she was only Imagineer for 4 years, and then she became just like a artist, like with the Walt Disney Company. So, it may have not been her cup of tea, but at first. So, but basically, this attraction was more of like a maze walkthrough, where you go through different mazes to find the unicorn. So there's no like actual ride vehicle attraction, but the maze was divided into like 4 main sections. So there were like 3 outdoor areas ruled by different mythological characters, and then a castle at the end, and that's where the unicorn lived. So each of the sections of the maze were like different style of the maze. So like the first style was like very like sharp corners, edges, shape like squares, and like very like sharp, I don't know,
Yeah, perpendicular,
yeah,
linear directions.
yes. And then the second section was more of like swirls and like fantasy kind of vibe. And throughout the
You don't dream of straight lines in your fantasy?
it was more like Alice in Wonderland. That's where she said she got a lot of like inspiration from like the Paris park. But so throughout the maze were going to be these like statues or gargoyles, and that were like animatronics that you could interact with, or like helped you lead going through the maze, which the idea sounds really cool. So, and then there were like some gargoyles that were like try to trick you, or spit water at you, or
Because that'll go well. Guests love the spitting camels.
Right. Yeah, it's our favorite.
Hey, there's someone controlling that. No, there's
No,
not.
no.
You're just sitting this. You just got hit in the one spot where everyone gets hit. You notice
Yeah.
that there was water there before.
Yes.
yeah, they said like they would play tricks, held confusing signs, or shot jets of water at uninspected guests.
Sounds fun.
It does sound fun.
It's just like hiding in a bush, just like this.
It's in my eye. So when you get through all of the mazes, the final one is like you face these like statues before you go into the area where the unicorn is, and you like have to press on certain tiles to make like the statues do certain things, and then you're able to eventually go into this kind of cave-like room where like there's like water like running like waterfall water, and then in the island there's like an island where there's a animatronic unicorn.
It's Charlie.
Yeah.
Every time you're like there's the Candy Mountain
Right.
ride.
Yes.
And one of the roadblock was they wanted to speak, but they're like, well, how do we make it speak without it being like super cheesy?
have rainbows come out of its mouth.
Yep.
So basically, they said they were gonna put speakers all around you, so it felt like it was talking to you like.
So I feel like I'm
hypo,
crazy.
yeah.
Telepathy.
Yeah.
Telepathy.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Telepathically, yeah.
and I want the most beautiful looking unicorn to be like, "Hey, I'm Frank. Oh, you found me."
It's like an unexciting crush talk.
He's got a cigar in his mouth. Hey guys, welcome to my lair. TV's right there.
It's
You can
so-
help yourself to
He's
the
got like a
fridge.
beer guy. Like,
It definitely like this idea could be like really cool, but it also could be very wrong. Like take a wrong turn.
Yeah, it's one of those like, is it really worth the risk to put this in a park?
They say a lot of the roadblocks was, of course, the unicorn speaking, so they wanted telepathically. But then
Hear me out, guys. Hear me out. He's in your head. The unicorn. You can hear the kids like, I went to Disney World and there was a unicorn in my head talking to me. They told me to go get Mickey bars. Okay. All right. This kid needs medication. I want a churro.
For some reason, I want a churro. They also said, like, the plant would be, like, the agricultural and the, maintaining the plants would be difficult.
Yes, I would imagine so.
Because it would be mostly all plants unless you were to do, like, fake trees, which probably wouldn't look that great.
Yeah.
And then, of course, like, having all the paths meet ADA with requirements. So of course it got slashed, the idea, and I mean I can understand why.
Well, the whole land got slashed.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they even built. They were, from my understanding, they had built infrastructure. So like there was this ride that
There's an electrical outlet ready.
So,
all right, plug it in, guys. It's mobile.
So, well, like literally, like they had built this ride. So, like there was a boat ride when the park first opened, and that was going to be part of Beastly Kingdom. And they actually built like flamethrower rocks and things like that. Like flames would fly out of rocks and things like that to like
When did the rocks get flamethrowers? It's like I feel like it's been like they fly now.
Right, exactly. And so and that was part of the whole land, and it was actually built, but then before it opened, they're like, nope, turn it off, and it was never used.
So there's like the trolls.
Where was
frozen with flamethrowers.
that area gonna be? Was it?
I think it's over where Pandora is now.
Oh, okay.
I figured they would have filled it in there.
Yeah. There are some like cool parts. I really enjoyed like the maze part of it. Obviously in Disneyland Paris it's a popular walkthrough, I would say. And I love the idea of like interactive animatronics that are like statues. There was like talk of like a phoenix that like rises and like
You just have to wave your magic band
oh
and look like a crazy person.
Oh,
yeah, we don't need to talk about the new magic bands. But they're now how it would work in today's time.
Space
This
is
is
so critical.
Space is really difficult with this, and I think part of it for this idea to actually work, you would need some sort of e-ticket attraction
if you went
attached to it.
subterranean with it.
And underground.
Underground. Isn't that like there's something like that at Paris Disney where they have a cavern?
Yeah.
It's not underground, but it gives the feeling of it. But I'm fascinated with just subterranean, and I think it would be really cool. Like, well, it can't go up, might as well go down.
Right.
That'd be the last place I want to be at in Disneyland.
At Disneyland? Yeah, for sure.
You can't do it at Disney World. You'd be underwater.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe they have like a tube system where they do like a tube and then they put the cavern in
I don't
there.
want to be stuck in a tube at Disney World. But
They don't like the tunnel system and how they smell?
oh gosh. But so there's a few different ideas I had with how to make it kind of relevant for today. And one of the ideas was like, if they were to do a Indiana Jones land, I feel like this could be a fun like ride queue with a maze. You're going on a quest, like you're going to look for an artifact. So you have to go through these different mazes and the different like statues and different quests, and then when you get through the maze, which is the line queue, you actually get on the ride to get the certain artifact. So it may not be an actual unicorn.
So there are books about the unicorn horn for Indiana Jones.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it allows, I forgot what the power, or it was used to go to another dimension, and like you could tell the writer, like, you got one last book, and this guy went all in on it. It was like, this is a trip. What's going on here? So that would be kind of fun to incorporate that story.
And at the end, to get you out of the maze, you get chased out by a giant boulder.
Yeah.
You found the object!
That would be fun. But another idea I had was not so much in the park, but more of, I know Disney has been going more towards these all-inclusive resorts, like Alani, the space, what's it called? The Star Wars Hotel.
The Star Cruiser.
The Star Cruiser.
I don't know. It's so probably out of price. I might as well just not even know it even exists. That's how I look at it.
The Star Cruiser, and they have all other, like, inclusive resorts, and I thought, well, this is a perfect idea of an activity you could do at the resort without an attraction attached to it. Of
Or
kind
maybe
of
like a cruise, like destination location.
Yeah, absolutely. Of kind of like a fantasy, mythological kind of area where you can go and explore as a part of your stay. And with the same ideas where you go on different like quests and like scavenger hunt kind of activities through these mazes and interact with different like headstones or like gargoyles and such, and then you get like different objectives, just like on the Star Cruiser, where there's different like tasks and like assignments that you can do on the Star Cruiser when you're on the ship. So I thought that could be a fun way to do at like a resort, like if you were to do like, say, like a Beauty and the Beast style resort.
That's true. Like,
Yeah.
That's kind of like what resorts are doing. We
Yeah.
stayed at that one lodge that had that for the birthday with the
Oh,
family.
the Wolf Lodge.
The Great Wolf Lodge.
Yeah, that was cool.
So I think that's kind of the future of Disney outside of the park.
At least that's what they're trying to make it.
Yeah. Well, honestly, they are making money off of it.
We'll see for how long. That's the question.
That's the question for everybody.
How long are you going to be able to maintain this? So, yeah, no. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing. All right, Japheth, give us your attraction. I have no idea what your
No
attraction
one knows
No one
what
knows.
it is. And Jackie, you had a great segue. Indiana Jones Land. The ride that never
Oh.
happened. Indiana Jones
Yes.
and the Lost Expedition.
This podcast is supporting Indiana Jones.
I
Land.
love Indiana Jones. This is a Tony Baxter idea.
Yeah.
And a lot of it did get, it got chunked out to
Yes.
different parks. And it never got fully put
Right.
together. But
It was going to make Adventureland really cool.
yes. And so
I'm
I
not gonna lie. It would
was-
have been cool if they were able to encompass the entire vision of this land. That would have been awesome.
It would have been cool. And that's why I was all like, yes, the rides are around, and the rides are good, but like to put them all together with what we're going to talk about, it would have been like, that would have been awesome, as opposed to like let's talk about what's it. And so this was supposed to take over Adventureland. What's in Adventureland? You have Tiki Room.
At
and then-
Disneyland?
At Disneyland, yeah.
Okay.
You have Tiki Room. You have Aladdin's old restaurant that from the 90s.
right.
It's now,
Meet and greet.
No,
It's like the tiki room.
It's a tiki like restaurant kind of.
Okay, so you got
thing.
like a little like lounge area, and then you have Jungle Cruise, and then you have Indiana Jones, and then you have the Treehouse,
Yes.
and then you also have the Bazaar and the Bengal Tiger, right?
Right.
That's Adventureland. Fairly small, but I mean, when you go to Adventureland, it's just for a Dole Whip, or
Indiana
Jones
and
and
Jungle
to be
Cruise.
disappointed that it's down.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go to Jungle Cruise and it's like, oh my gosh, 50 minutes for this.
And then spend $8 for 3 meats on a skewer.
Oh,
Yeah.
but it's so good.
It's so good, though.
And a lot of people get
Zulu!
pickles, right?
So, I mean, just keep that in your mind, you know, and we're going to go on. So, like I said, the Indiana Jones and the Lost Expedition. For those who don't know who Indiana Jones is, it's a George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, character-inspired ride based off the movies Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is a linguistic archaeologist, adventure hero who saves archaeological artifacts from evils, such as the Ark of the Covenant, the Cup of Christ from the Nazis, Crystal Skull from the Communists, and we hear this, stones of Shivlinga from a heart-ripping thuggy cultist priest. I was like, oh, that's what they are. They're thuggy. You know, I can see why, you know, Disney was playing with this thought. You know, these 80s movies franchise, or this 80s movie franchise pulled in $1 billion in 3 movies in the 80s.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money. And so,
Movie tickets were probably like $3 or something like that.
right,
$3,
I remember
$4.
going to see Spider-Man, like the first one, and I paid like $4.25,
Right.
or The Mummy or something like that, and I'm
Yeah.
all like, boy, it's a lot of money. Now it's like $14.
Yeah.
I'm like, what can I get for $4? You could smell the popcorn from there and get out of line. So the question is like, so why wouldn't Disney like look to incorporate another George Lucas franchise after, you know, Star Tours? And the success of that. And we're under the time, and so when this is considered, it's under the time of Michael Eisner. Well, guess who gave the green light for Indiana Jones when nobody else wanted to? Because George Lucas was famous for going over budget. And, you know, probably putting stress on the company. Like, are we going to be able to do this?
Right.
And so it was Michael Eisner at Paramount Pictures. He was the CEO there before he became the CEO of Disney. And so I'm sure he was like, oh, cool, Indiana Jones, solidify, my good decision to, my gift to the world, Indiana Jones. I mean, you see it in the first time it's in the park is what? The Stunt Show.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Eisner's first park, really.
Yeah.
With MGM Studios, now known as Hollywood Studios, now going to be...
Who knows
what is it? What are they going to call it? Marvel,
IP
Pixar.
Land, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Let's make lots of money, land.
Yeah.
So, the Imagineers, they have this concept called blue sky thinking, right?
Yes.
Which is shoot for the moon, anything goes, no money, space. And so this idea came out where they planned an Indiana Jones, takeover of Adventureland. And the way it works is it would incorporate like a cavern, and you would walk in and you'd have the choice of 2 different rides to go onto for Indiana Jones. Jungle Cruise would still remain, and then the train would still go through. I don't think the Tiki Room would have been included in getting rid of.
Probably not.
Probably not. It's in the inside, and it's away from the guts of Adventureland.
Yeah.
So you go into this cavern, and so you have 2 choices. The first would be the ride that's currently at Disneyland for the most part. Guests would go to a motor pool and help Indiana Jones in his quest of the Golden Shrine, encountering his most thrilling adventures like the rolling ball booby trap. We've got that. So you're like, what's new? And you're like, but it would have been incorporated in a larger ride area where you'd have the second one, the one that every kid before Indiana Jones ride came out was like, why isn't there a roller coaster? This, like, you watch Temple of Doom and you see the minecart race and you're like, this would be an amazing ride. And it could have been. It was closer than you think.
Right.
And so now when you watch Temple of Doom, you're like, you can imagine like what, it was close to happening at Disneyland. Because what would happen was you would hike up the top of a hill, which I was like, hike up a hill? Have you seen the ECV people? This is like, they have
They
struggle.
would just go dead halfway the hill.
We would have ECV lifts, you know.
Just like a chain you hook them on. And just go up.
They're like winched up there. Oh, sorry, people. It's just, for those who've worked in the parks, know that ECVs are just the
They're
worst
awful.
thing. My grandma hasn't driven in 15 years, so we put her in an ECV
Yeah.
and gave her, like, you know, Southeast Asia style driving. No rules, chaos. Exactly. And it's just nuts. Like, so I apologize to those who are ECV drivers, but you guys make it really hard to.
The unexperienced ones.
Yes, if you're good, that's fine. If you're good, you're good.
Courteous, yes.
But grandma that can't see anything, legally cannot drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen many broken legs. And,
I was run over.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend actually have his leg broken
Right.
in his college program, and he had to glue Duffy sticks for the remainder of his college program. What'd you do? You're like, I glued a teddy bear.
Broke my leg and glued sticks to a teddy bear.
And every time I look at it's gone.
It's gone.
It's
All right.
gone.
So, Alex, I salute you for, enduring that Duffy gluing stick period. He actually went on to go work at Disneyland afterwards.
Oh, okay.
So there was a happy ending
Yeah,
there.
I've heard it's better to work at Disneyland.
He liked it. So yeah, you would go up to the top and you would go in the loading area and you get in your mine cart, and we've been to Disney World, we've experienced that mine cart experience, and that would be kind of fun just to be in a single one, etching through, going around a volcano tubed area, and just to be part of a larger ride, because the Indiana Jones ride that's currently there, it would be incorporated. You would be intermingling with different rides. And when I say that, you would also have the Jungle Cruise boating through the cavern. And then you would also have the railroad train
The main
overhead, Disneyland Railroad going through. And it's like, how cool would that be? You get fully immersed into an Indiana Jones adventure. Trains, boats, minecarts, and cars. All you need is John Candy to show up and drive you up the wall. So it's just, for me, I'm like a huge Indiana Jones fan, but just I think that would be part of the Walt experience of just that fully immersive land experience. And I can't think of any better character for adventure than Indiana Jones. And unfortunately, they had to compete with Splash Mountain and Space. Space is always, not Space Mountain, but space and money is always.
Right.
Because if you think of, what they had to do for the current Indiana Jones, where they're like, well, there's no space for this. So we're going to put this in the parking lot, Eeyore, and we're going to make the guests hike half a mile.
Yeah.
Right. You never think about how far you're actually walking.
You're walking far. But the queue is great, so...
And that's where they found their success, is how do we do this? Well, we need to make this a good queue. And because of that, we got better queues than, what you'd get at Fantasyland or something so we also, the Indiana Jones ride did get, what is it, the Forbidden Eye? Is that the name of the ride? We did get that. It's a great ride. It's a favorite of a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
It's a top tier ride. And it's really the last edition before Star Wars for Disneyland.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was.
We went through a 20-year period of no new rides. Really.
I think that there was...
we did get Buzz Lightyear.
We got Buzz Lightyear. I think
Yeah.
that was
Buzz.
it. That was it. We got Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah. And some new meet and greets, but as far as attractions, yeah.
That was they were taking away things more than they were giving. And then the minecart ride was incorporated to a degree in Paris with the Temple of Peril. Like I said, incorporated to a degree. I didn't even know I've been on it, and
It's just
it would have been better in a cavern with what it is.
It's like your typical like carnival roller coaster ride.
And that's what it was. It was a cheap build. It was a carbon copy coaster that they bought from another company, and then they just put some theming on it, and that's all they did with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you never get the sense of like, this is an Indiana Jones ride.
You don't feel like
they could have called it Indiana James, and I wouldn't have I would have been like, oh, cool. There's this guy like Indiana Jones, but it's Indiana James.
It's the knockoff.
It's
Makes
the
sense.
So that's what I've got for the Indiana. I love Indiana Jones. I think it was really cool to stumble upon. You know, what we were all wanting was that mine cart. You know, it would be so cool if they even had like a dummy track of the bad guys following you, kind of shoot at you.
Yeah,
and you get to
cool.
shoot back at them, you know. And at the end, one of you guys had to jump out and break.
oh yes,
And then dance around.
you're in control of your own brain.
Or have an animatronic of Indiana Jones. He comes in there and he like talks to you. That would have been cool. That's kind of my thought. Could it be incorporated in the park? I don't think so with California Adventure being there. I mean, the roller coaster, you would have to eat away at a lot of, or incorporate a lot of Jungle Cruise. Jungle Cruise takes a lot of space, and so you could do it. Incorporate more of it. Just have less
Come on, Disney
tropical
fans.
adders.
What do you think about that? Get rid of Jungle Cruise, huh?
No, just
Nah.
portions of it. I mean, you go through that temple scene, and you're just like, all right, we're on the end of this.
In Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
You're just going through,
get
you're
rid
like,
of it.
all right. And then he tells, like, dark jokes. Anyone want to hear a dark joke? You know?
Yeah. I wish they would bring more Indiana Jones, especially with the Disney Plus. I know a movie's going to be coming out.
Yes, and if you all go see the movie, there might be a good chance there might be more inclusion in the parks.
I would love, like, a reboot of Young Indiana Jones.
I don't know. I've watched Young Indiana Jones, and I thought they did a great job teaching history. I think the show achieved that goal, except there are just some boring episodes in there.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool. It feeds in, like, remember the scene where Indiana Jones bumps into Hitler at a parade? You know, and you're like, they really play on that thought of not bumping into Hitler, but bumping into other historical figures accidentally. You know? So, you know, Picasso, he makes friends with him and you know, fights Hemingway for the love of an Italian heiress, you know. It just, that was kind of fun, and like, it's like the Forrest Gump of like bumping into famous people, or I just don't know if it catch the audience, because they actually had like 6 different locations they were going to go to with Indiana Jones. If you want more Indiana Jones, you have to invest in it.
Yep.
Don't do what Star Wars did with Solo, where they like poo-pooed on it, and they're like, really? Okay, we're getting rid of everything.
You're like,
And everyone's like, yeah, that's what you hear Mark Rubel. That's impossible! No!
Right, exactly.
we want more.
So all the Disney fans know, like, okay, play nice with Disney. It was great, guys. And we got on YouTube. It sucked. Good job.
All right. Well, thank you. So I've got mine, and so picture this: we've got Indiana Jones. No, I'm joking.
Peter's like, you stole mine.
Stole my idea, and I told you what it was.
I'll go first.
No, so I have one. I picked one. It's called Bald Mountain.
Hey, you know what? I'm in the room. Just chill here, all right?
And so yes, it's like
Is it
it's
like
like
a giant bald man?
It's no. What is it? It's like a museum of famous bald people. You go through. It's an educational attraction. No.
Paycheck bald? Yeah, paycheck's...
Okay. Who do you think's funding this thing? I'm Bob Chapek. It's a great idea. I'll be the big display. So Bald Mountain references the Fantasia short Night on Bald Mountain.
Scary part.
Scary, yes. And so the idea behind this came alongside another attraction I'm not going to go too much detail about, called Fire Mountain. So this is like after Splash Mountain had come out, and people were kind
We
of
need more mountains.
That's it. We need more mountains, and so they came up with these 2 new mountains that they were going to build
Just
for.
have a theme park all of mountains.
Honestly, that's that was kind of the plan. They were going to have one in Adventureland, that was going to be Fire Mountain, and this was going to be the Fantasyland mountain. And so yeah, it was going to be like the mountain
Scare
park.
the kids. They're like, "What's that over there?" And like, it just comes out like, "Oh."
Oh yes, and we'll get into that. But this was going to go where 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea was sitting. Currently, where like Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast restaurant. That's kind of where this would have sat as of today.
Oh, we're in Disney World.
Yeah, Disney
Yeah.
World.
Okay.
This was from Magic Kingdom.
Where there's space, yeah.
Yes, they had lots of space. And so, like, yeah, they wanted to put some, because they knew when they pulled 2,000 Leagues, 20,000 Leagues. I keep doing that. I keep saying 2,000.
It was a short trip.
It's a short
Really
trip.
short
Oh,
trip.
we're done. 20,000 Leagues. Sorry. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. When they knew when they were going to close that, it was going to cause a lot of fan outrage. And keep in mind, this is like 90s, and so not internet craze.
The crowd
Yeah.
wasn't
Right.
yeah,
but
the
they
mob,
knew. But
the
they knew
internet
there was
mob.
enough people that would have been upset at this time when they closed the attraction. So this would have been mid 90s, and so they came up with this attraction. They weren't sure if this was going to be another flume ride, another water ride, or if it was going to be a roller coaster, or even a combination of both. So like
Should have been a lava flume.
a lava flume.
Oh, no, that's the Fire Mountain. Sorry.
Yeah, that would have been Fire Mountain.
We got like a ghost flume. Dry ice.
And so at the time when they were designing this, the movie Hercules had just kind of come out at the time, and so they were going to design the boats after the boat of dead.
Ooh, creepy.
And so, and then you would be taken
Halloween, that would be a popular Halloween ride.
and then
That would just be
eventually
a popular ride.
Yeah.
right, and then eventually it would like take you through like the den of villains, and you would be attacked by several different villains from different movies and things like that, where you'll have the climactic scene of the giant Chernobog. And that would be grand, and you kind of get that kind of picture like what's going on in Phantasmic with
Yeah.
like the big fight scene with Maleficent the dragon, but instead of Maleficent, it's a giant Chernobog.
It would have been really cool to have like a villain
A
ride.
villain ride, yeah.
Which is why I picked it, because I think it would be really cool to have a
It
villain
would be
ride.
very popular. A lot of people love the villains. I mean, they do villain events at Disney World.
for the Halloween event.
The Halloween event, and they have their own separate party.
That's true.
So we talk about this. It's like, this is a really good idea. And you're right. Even Disney was all like, this is a really good idea. And then
We can't do it.
the idea kept getting bigger and bigger. It was like, well, maybe we'll do a villain's land. Okay? And then rumors started coming up of a possible villain's park. And so
We'll
they
grow too big too
and
quickly.
so what happened was, well, we can't, if we're going to build a villain's park, we can't put this attraction in the Magic Kingdom. We got to save it. And then the villain's park never happened, and this attraction got shelved.
Oh, what a shame.
Oh, victim of its own success.
Correct.
Oh, bummer.
So it's still a really good idea, and I really hope that
Hey,
they do it.
D23's coming up. Cross your fingers.
Yes, I'm, Bob JPEG's here. I'm going to announce 20 projects, and we'll build one of them. I promise.
Bingo! Let's roll it up. Let's see the lottery.
I will build one, but we'll announce 20.
But they're all like really all one ball in there, and it's all like more merchandise. Oh,
Chewie the merchandise bird. Yes. So that's kind of, there's not too much story behind it, and so it's just kind of fun to talk about the possibilities as to what they would turn, if they were to build it now, what it would look like. And my idea was, yes, it would be a mountain, but this attraction would be all indoors. It would be a water flume ride.
Okay.
So like, there will be water drops and things like that, and it's all inside. So picture kind of like, almost like a Pirates and a Splash Mountain had a baby. This is what this would be.
okay.
You got drunk pigs.
Drunk pigs. Yeah, except we'll have Pain and Panic maybe.
Without the opening sequence, like this was made during a time that was, with different values that we have now. That would be what you would see at the beginning of the ride.
You have to do that for an attractions built 2 years ago.
That's true.
So I picture the attraction. You start off and you get introduced by Dr. Vasilier.
Ooh, yeah, he's perfect at that.
And he tells you about his friends on the other side.
Ooh.
And so he creates a portal which then takes you into the mountain where you're greeted by none other than Hades.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
I'm
Animatronic?
I'm sold.
Animatronic Hades, where he kind of welcomes you and tells you about, like, oh, you might find some interesting characters here, but you got to be careful. And so you kind of get taken around, and like every scene that you interact with a different villain, something will happen with the attraction. Either like your boat will kind of move to the side, maybe, or maybe you'll do like a spin in your thing, like you'll do like a rotation. So like each villain will do something special. So like you can have Jafar in there. I try to think of ones that like don't already appear in other attractions. So like I didn't put Ursula in there because she's already in Little Mermaid. But I thought
of villains.
Obviously you've got the Headless Horseman. I think having him show up would be cool. Like he'll be like chasing you.
Ooh.
And
Chasing, and then there'll be a pumpkin that comes up chasing you.
So like kind of have like Headless Horseman scene. You'll have obviously a Maleficent Dragon scene. I'm being ambitious
This is gonna
here.
be scary for kids.
Oh yeah, this is a scary attraction, but it's gonna be epic.
Yeah.
I'm making this awesome. Okay, and then it's gonna end with a big climb up a hill with the Chernobog at the top of the hill. Wings flapping with the music going.
You got the ghost projection.
The
yeah.
ghost projection's
around.
going, and the music's blasting. Dun, 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 dun. And like building that suspense, and you drop down, and as you reach the top, and you drop down underneath the Chernobog. Then the portal opens up again that you saw at the beginning from Dr. Vasilier, and he welcomes you back, and that's how you get out.
Oh, I got chills.
That's
good.
And
That's
in
good.
terms of location, you can totally get rid of Little Mermaid and the Beauty Beast section. You can tear that down and put it right there. I don't care. This needs to be built. I want a Villain's Mountain. This would be awesome.
You could do like Autopia. Just get rid of Autopia itself. Like that's a lot of real estate.
Right. You can even
Yeah.
you can even turn Splash Mountain into this for all I care.
Yeah, you
Honestly,
could.
like I want a Villain's Mountain. I think villains need more attractions than they currently get. I think that's one of the most underutilized set of characters that Disney has.
It's true. Disney can make a lot of money if they focus a little bit more on the villains.
It's like when I always say like with Haunted Mansions, like was ever someone that needed to get more merchandise, and this was like in the 2000s. It's got to be the Haunted Mansion because all you see is like
Oh yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas. I
Oh,
get it; it
it's
makes
so
money
big.
and it's timeless with teenagers. But it was one of those like, but then like sure, like they saw the demand for it, and more merchandise has come out because the fandom grew, and so it's like I think this could roll with with fans and villains. They're doing the parties, and I think it is time for a ride.
I wish they made California Adventure Villains Land. They had Disneyland and then Villains Land right across. That would be so cool.
Honestly, Disney World needs as much help. I'm going to be talking about this on a future episode here coming up, but Disney World needs a lot of help right now.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
This attraction would be perfect for Disney World, in my opinion. Disneyland, they've got a lot going on, a lot going for
They'll
it.
be fine.
I don't
no one
think-
has to worry about Disneyland.
I'm not worried about
No.
Disneyland needs another big attraction. No, they're good with what they got there.
It's true.
My attraction could easily go in Disney World
Right.
a lot easier
Yeah.
than Disneyland.
And so and that's what's really cool. Like a lot of these old ideas that the Disney company, the Imagineers have come up with, they're fascinating. and they're amazing. Like, there's so many that we didn't even discover. Like, it was Discovery Bay and things like that. Like, there's so many really cool ideas that just never came to be. You know, especially with Epcot. Oh my goodness, there's like 15.
Tell us about it, Peter. Tell us how much you love Epcot.
Epcot. Well, I don't know if I would have loved the changes that they were going to do to Epcot, but they had a lot of plans.
Oh,
for
you're
Epcot.
that's right. You're OG.
I'm
OG
OG.
Epcot.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm OG Epcot. I don't know if I want to turn Spaceship Earth into a roller coaster. That's what they were at one point considering doing. But yeah, so and you can look these up online. There's a lot of great concept art that's been released by Disney or by the people who made the artwork for these things, even dating all the way back to Walt Disney's time. There's a lot of original ideas. Walt Disney had the original Disneyland when it first opened that never came to be.
A lot of Imagineers have retired, and they've shared or their kids have shared going through their paperwork, what's this, and finding models,
Right.
and they're sharing that information.
And as we get closer to this next D23, where they're going to make many announcements.
At least we hope.
They'll make announcements as to whether
that's right.
come through.
Lots of promises.
Yes.
Little follow through.
I think I remember
Lots of excuses.
Literally, I think I went back and looked at all the things that were announced at this one D23, and literally only half came to be. The other half got cut. Remember the theater that they were going to build on
Mary
Main Street?
Poppins.
Yep.
What else got cut?
I mean, who knows what's going on with the Play Pavilion?
Oh yeah, weren't they gonna do 50 new things at Disney World, and that got cut?
Well, yeah, COVID cut that one up in pieces. Yep.
They'll be like, yes, there were 50 gold figurines that we put out there.
That's what they said. That's what they did.
This was our plan the whole time. I swear, this was genius. 50 statues. That's all.
Financially, it's
and
genius.
And
not
we'll give you
them
these
anything.
overpriced magic bands that are useless.
They don't work. Yeah.
No, they work. They just only last for 2 hours, and then you have to charge them again.
Yeah.
Right, that works when you're at a park all day.
Yeah. So, let us know what you think. Did you what did you think about the attractions that we talked about today? Maybe we'll come back and revisit this in the future and talk about some of the other ones. Are there some that you know about and would like to share with us? You can do that on any of our social medias, our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter. You can email us if you want us to. We can even read it on the podcast.
Yeah, you can send voice messages through Anchor.
Yes, just reach out to us. Again, we're the Matterhorn Yodelers. But until next time, auf Wiedersehen. Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Matterhorn Yodelers. Please remember, before your bobsled comes to a complete stop, to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And remember...
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.